Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Rawan, for the kind words of introduction. Mr. Ambassador, fellow colleagues, fellow board members, thank you to all of you who came to this conference by ARIJ, the yearly conference. There are often times when I look around me in the region, and as Rawan mentioned, I write about this region, I report on this region, I am from this region. And there are many times when truly I despair at the state of affairs that we are going through. Things are rough. They are sometimes getting rougher with the pandemic, as the ambassador just mentioned. The pandemic's been hard on all the world, but in this region, it's made things even harder, including for journalists. And then there are moments of optimism. When I come to Jordan, I actually get on a plane. Do you all remember what that looks like? What that feels like? I get on a plane and I come to Jordan to a conference, which Rawan insisted should be both virtual and in real life, to give hope to journalists, to our donors, to all of you who participate, who rely on ARIJ, and to give hope and to give them the ability to connect again in real life. And that moment of optimism I felt throughout the day today as I listened to some of the conversations and the sidelines, to feedback about the conference. And when I see the talent that is on display here, it really gives me hope in the future of this region. So I want to thank all of you who came to Jordan, who got on this plane, or who got in a car if you're in town, who came and who attended online as well. It's very important to continue to reach out to our audiences and our stakeholders and our fellow journalists everywhere online. The energy, the conversations, the meetings, set aside the incredible panels and the incredible workshops that you had, just the meetings, the connecting, the looking people in the eye, the sitting together for a coffee, that alone was worth all the effort. And again, I want to thank Rawan for insisting that despite the challenges, it was important to do this, and clearly everyone agrees. The challenges of the pandemic have also brought some opportunities. Being able to connect online can be a hassle. It does allow you sometimes to stay in your pajamas without anyone knowing that you're in your pajamas. But it does also allow us to reach a wider network of people across the Arab world, to make it possible for people in Yemen, in Gaza, in Libya, even in Lebanon, to participate, to be heard, to learn new things in ways that they were not able to do before because they couldn't get a visa, because they couldn't travel, because they didn't have the budget. So there is something also, despite the challenges of the pandemic, there are opportunities to be more inclusive. And that's what I see today at this conference. That's the feedback I'm getting from people who have attended and participated, that ARIJ is being even more inclusive, reaching out further to talent, to discover more talent and bring in people who were not part of the network before. So it sounds to me like the hybrid model could be something that we can improve on and continue in future years to make this participation possible. I want to thank all the journalists who do all the incredible hard work across this region, who often risk their lives, their livelihood, their families' safety, and who do this because accountability is really the key here in our profession. Speaking truth to power, holding those in power accountable is really essential. As the ambassador was mentioning, this is about transparency, trust, and accountability as journalists, but also as an organization like ARIJ. And it is essential because I think that what ARIJ does and what we as journalists do is a public service. We offer a public service to citizens, to our readers, to people everywhere who can read about facts, about information, who can get to the bottom of what is really going on in their country with water, with electricity, with taxes, with public funds. So that's how I see journalism, as a public service that can help us grow better and move forward towards a better future. And despite the pandemic, despite the opportunity that it presented to some governments to silence journalism, to further use oppressive tools to make us live in darkness, and I think that applies everywhere. I mean, I'm not only talking about the Arab world. I go to the US a lot, and we can see how authoritarian tendencies are rising everywhere. Democracy should not be taken for granted anywhere. Democracy can be threatened anywhere. But our job is to shed light on key issues of relevance to citizens everywhere. And ARIJ stands by all of you to help you do that. I also want to thank our donors who believe in ARIJ. I can name just a few because they're sitting here in the front row, the CEDA, IMS, Sigrid Rousing Trust, and so many others that we are increasingly reaching out to, that we are connecting to. More of them are supporting us. We are immensely grateful for their support for our work. This is what makes ARIJ's work and its future sustainable. I'm only new to this world of fundraising and NGOs and foundations, and running a company, as some of my friends do, is very different. When you budget for 10 years. When you're doing foundation work, you work on very short-term strategies. But we are hoping that we can grow. Our strategy is about growing, reaching out more funders, making the work of our staff feel more sustainable and forward-looking. Our strategy going forward for the coming 2 years is about empowering, innovating, and networking, and making all of your work as journalists, as trainers, as educators possible. We want you to do more, better, to be more innovative. We want to find more talent in the far corners of this region where there is incredible talent. I see it every day. And sometimes when you're being innovative, it means letting go of old ways of doing things. I had conversations with Lawrence, who's sitting here in the audience, about AI. I don't know enough about AI. I got a short, quick lesson at the airport. The world isn't waiting. The world is not waiting. We need to catch up. We need to be more innovative, including in Arabic. I understand that it is possible. AI is out there, social media, climate change. All of these are issues that can help us, that we have to cover. We have to be moving with the times. ARIJ, of course, sits on the foundation built by Rana Sabah, the founder, who gets a lot of credit for setting up and building up this organization and really giving investigative journalism a real role in the region. It didn't exist as it does today. And we're grateful for her leadership during those years. New chapters are also very exciting. And over the last 2 years, we as a board and myself as a new board member and chairperson have had the incredible opportunity to work with our incredible new director. You've been there for 2 years, but it still feels new because I've only met her in person for the first time yesterday. We've worked with Rawan over the last 2 years, and we're very excited to look towards the future and setting up ARIJ for even further success, and I'm confident that we can do that. I want to thank her and her staff for the endless dedication, the incredible hard work, the endless energy and optimism, and the can-do attitude in what are really difficult times. I can't really name all ARIJ staffers. You've seen some of their faces and names on the screen there, but just to name a few who I've spoken to and interacted with over the last couple of days. Liana, Tamara, Yusuf, Samia, Munir, Bisan, Huda, and so many more of you who do the hard work across the year to make ARIJ function, to make it possible, and of course who do the incredible hard work of pulling off this really rather fantastic conference. I want to thank my fellow board members who are here. on this journey to help ARIJ continue to do the best work that it can. And if I may already congratulate the winners, I know it's a surprise. I'm very excited to see who is going to win this year. I have to say that doing this last year online was quite emotional. I saw how many people participate. You know, we have 286 participants online. There were over 600 participants last year in the final, in the closing ceremony. And it's really touching to see that hard work gets rewarded. It's incredible to see their almost tears of joy. And I'm delighted that hopefully some of them are here tonight and we can actually give them the award in person and shake their hands. And I'm looking forward to that. Thank you very much.